I've never been to the Nationals, and I think you told me you've never been to the Nationals. So we're both virgins, in the national.
We're both national virgins.
We're a national virgin.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite basketball card podcast on the entire internet, Hobby Update. This is now episode number 7. I'm Max. You can find me on Instagram at putnamcards. This is my good friend Shai. You can find him on Instagram at ShaiWaveVlogs. Shai, my man, how are we doing today?
¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. I am doing phenomenal. Lots of news going on in the hobby. And we are here to break it down and try to make sense of a lot of this news that's going on.
There we go. All right. Start off card of the day. I'll go first. Got to save the best for last. Your card is a monster. So my card, we have Kobe 2012 Prism finalists. Insert Prism Silver, even though it's technically not a silver. It's just a Prisms. BGS 9.5 True Gem Plus. I love this card. I love the 2012 Prism in silver inserts, and low pop. I think it's like pop 4 or 5. So just a cool card. I bought this. I bought this like a year ago, and I don't plan on ever selling it. So yeah, that's my card of the day.
Sweet. I'm a huge fan of the 2012 Prism set, inaugural set. It's a great card to hold, especially long term. I think with the low pop.
Thanks. Let me just give you a little. I'd be your hype man here. I mean, we talked about this last week. You said you had a big monster pickup. You posted it on Instagram. So I feel like most people already know what card you're about to show, but without further ado, here you go.
All right. My card of the day is my biggest pickup probably of my life. It is the 2018 Kaboom Gold Kobe Bryant, 5 out of 10, PSA 10, Pop 2. I don't even know. There's the card just speaks for itself at this point. I don't think it needs that much talk or hype. As soon as you see one of these things, you already know it's like something is up. You know what I mean? So that's my feeling when I first saw this card. Like, what is that? And here I am with this card in my hand. It's a long story how I got it. I don't want to get too into it, but it's the only first gold Kaboom basketball card of Kobe Bryant, period. So this is definitely my favorite card in my PC now. Probably my biggest card in my PC, maybe. But yeah, this is my card of the day. This is the last time you guys are gonna see it. I know I've been talking too much about it, but that's it. After this, it's being tucked away. No more talk about this card.
There you go. I mean, that's a beauty. You saw that card at the Dallas Card Show. You called me. I'm pretty sure you called 100 other people before you called me, but you called me to ask my opinion. I said at that price, it's kind of a no-brainer. You got it. And I believe you're very happy about your acquisition there.
I'm ecstatic. The best part is a lot of smart hobby vets said, I'm not sure. You sure you want to do this? You know what I mean? But then you were the nail in the coffin, to be quite frank. Well, you're like, yo, it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna kill you if you don't. It's like you were so convicted. I'm like, you know what? I just needed that one little extra juice of push. Sometimes you just look for it when you're sure. You have that little doubt, and you give that one little push, and you're that guy. And here we are. So thank you.
I don't need any credit, but I do appreciate that. I just want to say, when I picked up my biggest acquisition of all time, I've talked about it plenty. I don't need to talk about it ever again. But when I did that, a lot of people said I was crazy too when I picked up that card. So sometimes some of the best pickups, acquisitions, purchases you can make are the ones where people say that you're absolutely crazy for even considering it.
I love that. Yep, that's exactly it. You know, that's well said. There we go.
All right, moving on. Big announcement here. The National is officially happening July 28th to August 1st. This is going to be a huge event for the hobby. I feel like the past 2 years have just been building up to this very moment. I think this event is going to rejuvenate the hobby. It's going to be bonkers, absolute pandemonium. I can't wait.
This is the Super Bowl of the hobby, the biggest day in the hobby. This is like a birthday of the hobby. What's the biggest, most important day? New Year's Eve of the hobby, the birthday of the hobby, the Ramadan of the hobby, the
The Last Supper.
Supper. Yeah.
Well,
All
I don't want to say the Last Supper. This is the first of many suppers.
Yes, we get it. I mean, it's the biggest day in the hobby, the Super Bowl. So, I've been to Dallas. I've never been to the Nationals, and I think you told me you've never been to the Nationals. So we're both virgins, in the national.
We're both national virgins.
We're a national virgin. Oh my god, that's gonna be the title of this podcast, National Virgins. Okay. But yeah, I've been to 3 Dallas card shows, had an absolute blast, and it was so action paced. It was so big, and few people that came with me on the last one, they've been to the national. They're like, national is more crazy. So I could only imagine how nuts it's gonna be. You're probably gonna see cards you've never seen before. You know what I mean? There's gonna be media. It's gonna be bananas, and I hope to see a lot of you guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, same here. If you really love cards, one of the beauties of going to card shows is seeing cards in person that you've never seen before. I remember when I went to the Dallas card show 2 shows ago now at this point, but I saw Jambalaya, an OG Jambalaya for the first time in person. It was incredible. So even if you don't plan on buying any big cards or selling anything, just go for the sake of seeing these beautiful pieces of art.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have some friends, family, they're free, bring them along. You know what I mean? They'll see this crazy chaos, the hobby. They'll see they will be blown away, especially outside people. They're gonna be like, wow, this is a cult. This is like a cult. This is a great group of people. There's just so much. I think bring everybody in, and we're gonna have a lot of fun at
there's gonna be so many camera crews there that everyone's just gonna be an extra. Like we're all just gonna, we should all just be paid for being in these videos at this point.
Yeah, that's true. There's more and more camera crews, which I like, and some people don't like. That's a whole nother pod.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel intrusive at some times, but at the same time, you need that publicity. You need to get those videos out there to draw people back in. So I don't know.
100%. I agree.
All right. Beckett shutting down the majority of their service levels. I think at this point, people know I hate talking about grading. I think people get bored of talking about grading. So I'll just ask you, do you got any thoughts about this? Pros, cons, Beckett shutting down?
Well, Uncle Sandeep's finally made a move. A move is better than no move, because they've been just a sitting duck for a while. No communication, no action. We just don't know what's going on. They probably, in the grand scheme of things, they did the right things. You want to get all the cards you promised people already a long time ago back into their hands. Future customers, you have no obligations to them, right? Because we don't have your cards. So what's already in there, getting that out first is the right business, like, fundamental thing to do. That's it. I mean, they're just following PSA's footsteps. They probably got slammed when PSA closed, and then it took them a few weeks to realize, oh shit, we're getting way too many cards because PSA closed. And now, yeah, let's close our shop. I mean, at this point, the hobby's so crazy. If anything, if you need proof the hobby's strong, this is just another freaking example. Take it that way for the outside people that are looking in. Business is so crazy that we're shutting down grading companies. That's what we're doing. Customers are shutting down companies. Just look at that headline. That shows how crazy still the hobby is. And people are saying the hobby's dead. Get the hell out of here.
That's a phenomenal point. I'll give you that. That is a phenomenal point. We are literally shutting down the infrastructure of the hobby. That's how strong the hobby is at this point.
Not one, but 2 companies.
And SGC. I mean, we've gone through that. Yeah.
We're done. SGC.
All right. I think we can move on. I think people get it. But we got a record sale, or do we? I don't know. The 1914 Baltimore News Babe Ruth. I guess if you want to call it an XRC, it was a pre-rookie card, I guess, graded SGC 3. Collectable announced that they sold this card for a record number of over $6 million. That was what the whole press release said. And now we've learned that there's a little bit of controversy about this sale and this kind of publicity stunt, if you will, a little bit. What are your thoughts? What give me your analysis?
All right, so there's so many takeaways for this. We actually talked about this yesterday, but I'm sorry we lost the footage. But with the new post from Card Porn that really explain to people what's going on. So I mean, you can look at their post and see. So there's a million things there's some goods and some bads. All right. So like the weird part, I don't know if you described right now what you just said. Privately, a card was bought more than 5.4 million, right? But we don't know how.
I think I think it was 5.2. I think that was what they said.
Right. So it was bought more than that privately, and then the guy decides to value it at 6 million. I don't know how they got that valuation. Then he wants to keep 99% and sell 1% of the card for $60,000.
And I think it was like $3 a share.
Right, $60,000. I mean, 60,000 divided by $3 a share. What is that? 22,000 shares or something, right?
20. The answer is 20,000, but close.
Stupid math. But yeah, 20,000 shares. The whole thing is like seems so far-fetched. Look, guys, I know a lot of people. I've always said your card is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it, right? Basically, in a weird sense, this situation of IPOing card, you're taking that classic thesis of something being worth something on a steroid level involving equity and all that. And when you get all that involved, things get a little funky. You know what I mean? There's very little transparency with this situation. That's the first step. Second step is that it is a new second reason. It is a new market. So when this is something invented, basically brand new. So new markets take time to develop. There's no regulation. There's no rules, right? So that's why I don't want to say they could do whatever they want, but that is kind of what's happening now.
It's a blank canvas.
Yeah, we're writing the rules as we go and experience the hobbies transforming with these IPO and collectibles with rally and all that stuff. I mean, my takeaway is that, like there should be some little bit of rules, some more transparency. Like, we can't IPO a card that was sold privately. We don't even know, like, the public doesn't know what it's sold for. We have to take your word for it. Who the hell are you? You know what I mean? Your word's more valuable than mine. You know what I mean? Like give us transparency. Why don't you do something like, okay, we could only IPO a card that's been publicly sold, auction comps maybe 10 times in the last 10 years if it's something rare. You know what I mean? To show like, look, there's real sales of this. Like we just need better understanding, rules, and I don't want to say regulation because nobody
just transparency. I think it just comes down to transparency.
What are your thoughts on it? You tell me, like, how do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, I would never buy shares of anything unless I knew exactly what the true value of it was, I guess. Like just because Collectable is telling me that it's valued at 6 million, that's not really a reason to buy shares at a $6 million valuation. So I think transparency is important, but I also just look at it from like a macro kind of sense. Like cards are selling for over $5 million, like left and right at this point. And to me, that's great for the hobby. I'm also just an optimistic person. So, it is a little bit shady. It is a little bit like what really is going down here. But I look at it, it's just another big sale.
So here's the thing. Like a lot of people don't know, the Securities and Exchange Commission is involved. So I'm not going to say allegedly or apparently, but I think the system is to IPO a card, you have to write like a little report or something on it and submit it to the SEC to show why this card is valued at an X amount. Okay, great. You know what I mean? It shows a little bit of legitimacy. But the SEC, they don't know what the fuck the hobby is. They don't know cards. You know what? You could tell them any bullshit. They do. You know what I mean? We need a hobby hierarchy system. I think we were talking about that. We need a political system in the hobby. The CEO should be, I don't know, we could vote on that. People are saying Ken Golden, maybe Dr. Beckett. That's a whole nother story. But bottom line is, yeah, you go to the SEC and you show them paperwork. This card is worth that much. Yeah, I can upsell. I can talk up my card. I can say this card is X amount to one-on-one. You know what I mean? So take that for what it's worth. Just keep little things in mind.
All right. So with that said, I want to kind of, there's 3 players here right now. And I want to analyze them based on their marketing prowess. So we've got SGC. I think they're a big winner in this situation because obviously that card was in an SGC slab and it's being all over the internet. Sold for $6 million.
I don't want to cut you off. Actually, since this is a negative bias news, SGC, maybe it's not the best thing.
Okay, LOL. Maybe. Okay, maybe. It started out good for them.
Yeah, it's great. They got the headline number, but then it's some negative story attached to it. But yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, God.
No, all good. Collectible, bad look.
Yeah.
I mean, not a bad look, but you never want to be in the middle of a controversy involving a $6 million card.
Right. Especially when you're a young and growing company. You want to be lovable, not
Right.
like negative stigma. But
Right.
yeah.
But if we're talking about marketing geniuses and the hobby at the moment, we have to talk about Ken Golden and his shirt.
Oh my God. Yes.
For those who don't know, though, he did an unboxing video in which he was wearing this shirt, the most magnificent shirt I've ever seen in my entire life. The man looked like the most confident peacock I've ever seen. It was a beautiful sight. It was really beautiful.
Guys, just take notes from Ken. You know what I mean? I don't even know if it was planned, if it's not planned, but bottom line is he got the word out. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about, I know the shirt probably stole the spotlight from the cards, but people are talking about the shirt, then the cards. Bottom line, it's with Golden. Everything involves him and his brand name. You know what I mean? So like Golden is winning. That's it.
I saw, well, I didn't see, I actually tweeted it out. I think that if that shirt was put on Golden Auctions and it went through an auction, I think that would outsell the Kobe Bryant game used rookie jersey that sold for 3.5 million or whatever it was.
I think Ken should definitely put that shirt up for auction. Somebody should shield bid it to 3 million, take it to Collectable, value it at 6, and IP, and then IPO. Let's start that. Which I think that's a very interesting idea.
That would be a wild turn of events. But
that's
yeah,
shit if that happens.
What'd you say?
That's when the hobby's going shit if that happens.
Yeah. That's fun to think about though. But I also want to kind of swing back here and talk about because Collectable did say that the Babe Ruth privately sold for over $5.2 million. Okay, so there's been a lot of private sales over the last 6 months, and a lot of which we kind of just take, and say, okay, yeah, that happened. There was that Luca Logo Man sale, and there was a picture of the whatever, and yeah. But at this point, we can say that Babe Ruth card definitely sold for multiple millions of dollars. So where I want to go with that is talking about kind of the broad scheme, the big picture here with the hobby. We've got cards selling for millions of dollars, 5 million, 6 million, 2 million, 1 million. At this point, when a card sells for $1 million at an auction, it's not even a huge deal anymore. It's just kind of like commonplace at this point. And we've always talked about how cards are art. And I've been spending some time through kind of NFTs, through traditional art, through cards, analyzing, thinking over some things. Cards at this point are art, like legitimately a class of art.
I agree. That's what. Look, $5 million. What piece of paper is worth 5 million? The only thing that's justified that's been going on in these crazy numbers for something like that is art. You know what I mean? There's so many paintings I've seen sell for hundreds of millions of dollars, but I never understood that because I was never a buyer. I'm not into that market, but there's a whole market for that. And the people that are buying it are usually pretty smart. So if they can value an artwork for that much money, then cards have so much more, room to the upside or growth in general, the whole market.
I mean, and if you think about what's the most expensive card out there, it's been floated around, but it's, people think that the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 10 could do $25 million potentially. I mean, that's more expensive than many pieces of art that are known and iconic, if you will. So I just think that it's important to talk about the kind of big picture here, that we've got cards just selling for record numbers. This market is still bonkers, even though there's a lot of cards that are down. The rare, low pop, highly desirable cards are still setting record numbers. And I just think it's important to talk about that and talk about big picture.
Yeah, like is the hobby dead? Yes, like all the small cards are, the base common stuff are down like tremendously. But then you keep seeing this. Some people say it's like a false narrative, a false image that the hobby's so hot. You know what I mean? $6 million cards sold. So I mean, you could look at it two ways. The majority of this positive news chances are it has to do with the really high end market, the guys that have been winning and, that have the good stuff and all that. And all this negative type, bad, like the lower prices and all that. Usually those are like the newer guys, the smaller guys, the younger guys, the guys that didn't have that much knowledge and maybe they bought at crazy prices. So, they're who's winning? The 1% just keeps winning, right? Even the hobby. God damn it. God, the 1%ers always win. I swear to God. Even
Yeah.
hobby now out loud. And the little guys get hurt. Jesus. Oh.
I also do want to mention though that you've got the Wayne Gretzky going for millions. You've got LeBron RPA, exquisite RPAs going for millions. Like, what are these cards going to be worth 10 years from now when everybody who's bidding on these cards, age 25 to 45 has a lot more money? You know what I mean?
I don't know how many these people in the hobby are gonna, make 20-30 million dollars in 10 years.
No, I'm not saying. We're still talking about that 1%.
I get what you're saying. But yeah, look, we have over 100-year history of the card market. You know what I mean? Just take a look back when you see the bigger picture. Rare stuff continues to go up. Like, the bottom line is what causes something to go up, right? What causes a card to go up? It's the collector end base. If people want a card and if it's a collector, they want to hold. If it's a card you want to hold on to, chances are that card is going to go up. If it's a card you just want to flip, blah, 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 yes, it may go higher, but long term, it's going to flip all the way down. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to hold it. You know what I mean? So everybody that's flipping a card that's always being flipped, you know what I mean? It's not. And look at that PSA 10 Mickey Mantle 52. That card is not a flip card, right? Like, no one's flipping that type of card. Like, that's an extreme example, but like that's like the bottom line. Once you can figure that out, hey, like if you're new to the hobby or whatever, like, hey, I do love cards. I want cards, but what kind of is safe that kind of works? It's a card that's collectible. You know what I mean? Like, think about the most basic general sense. Like, this card, a lot of people want it, you know what I mean? But don't buy a card just because everybody else wants it. Unless your thesis is making money and investment, because chances are you'll be right. But the old saying, collect what you like, chances are you're going to like cards that are, rare and special and short print, because that's just the feeling of collecting things. You want to collect things that are rare and cool and unique and all that. And that category,
sorry, I hate to cut you off, or have incredible historical significance.
Yes, of course. It doesn't always have to be rare. The Fleer 86 is not a rare card, the Jordan. Yes. Thank you for correcting me. That's true. Historical significance, very important, which means it's a collectible. If something has historical significance, people want it. Bottom line, if people want that card, it's gonna generally climb higher in the long run. That's just how our market works. I think.
Mostly fixed supply, growing demand.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's good on that topic. I also just want to say, so over the Memorial Day weekend, I had a conversation with, we had some people over at my parents' house, and we had a conversation at the table. And I said, there are cards selling for millions of dollars, and there are cards selling for, I have cards that are worth thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, right?
Hundreds of thousands.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but yeah. And these, for lack of a better word, these boomers at this table with me thought it was just the craziest thing that a card could be worth $1 million, a piece of cardboard. I think what this older generation doesn't understand is that now more than ever, it's possible to invest in culture.
Don't take advice from baby boomers. My dad just got an iPhone 3 years ago, and he the most craziest thing. He just got a smartphone. You know what I mean? Baby boomers, God, usually they're associated with blue collar type people. No offense. You know what I mean? Like they're like, that type of stuff. Like, don't take these words that literally, but their way of thinking, the baby boomers with technology and all that, they're not as fast, as progressive as generation. What are you? X, Y, Z, something like that. Like the new generation. Like
I think I'm Gen Z. I'm not sure though.
Gen Z. Like I hate those terms, but like, we are like more smart. Like a 6-year-old now, a 7-year-old kid is way more smarter than a 7-year-old in like 1995 or even 10 years with, the way they're using iPhones and stuff. Baby boomers are, in a sense, like they're not like the most up to date, modern, and like forward thinking type of people. We are the future. We are creating this market, and we believe in this market. We understand it because we're basically kind of inventing it. It's all this IPO of collectibles and all that. So like we're the future. So I'm not surprised the baby boomers don't understand. They can't even fathom why this card is $1 million. Now try to explain to them I'm gonna IPO a card for $3 million. What do you think the baby? They're gonna lose it. They're not even gonna think about how crazy.
Right. That's a good point. All right, moving on. What do we think is the best finals matchup for the hobby? I've got my thoughts. I know you have a strong opinion. So I have two options here, one of which is looking more unlikely by the day, which is Brooklyn and the Lakers. Maybe if by the time this podcast comes out, the Lakers maybe even out of the playoffs if they don't win tonight. Who knows? I don't know. But I think Brooklyn, LA, for obvious reasons, would be great for the hobby. And if it's not going to be Brooklyn, LA, I think Milwaukee and Phoenix. Or Milwaukee and Utah. I think either of those would be great for the hobby because you would have Giannis and Booker or Giannis and Donovan Mitchell. And I think it'd be really good for one of those young guys to possibly win a championship.
A phenomenal choice. I mean, this playoff finals is pretty open, which makes it fun and exciting, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Like I like that, actually, seeing some surprises. I mean, my choice for the best two teams in the finals, strictly for a hobby. You know what I mean?
Obviously, but this is a completely hypothetical, probably not likely to happen. But if we are talking about what would be best for the hobby,
right, for the health of the hobby, remember, like we all want the hobby to grow and win. Is definitely Mavericks versus Hawks, Luka versus Trae. If you go back a few years, this hobby went bananas, the roof out the water, however that saying is, blew the roof out the water, the ceiling. It was Luka and Trae, 2018 Prism. They rejuvenated Panini. They brought the hobby to the next level. Highest print run Prism cards. We all know at this point what happened with Luka cards and all that. And who were the most buyers of these smaller cards? It was all the younger people, the younger kids, the new people coming into the market. You know what I mean? They're the ones that have a lot of Luka. Like a lot of kids' favorite players, either Luka or Trae, the younger guys. And chances are they're gonna have small little, Chronicles base cards. You know what I mean? Some hoops, PSA 9s and 10s and stuff like that, which is nothing wrong with that. But yes, those values of those cards dropped tremendously, obviously. So now I want those little guys to win. Remember, these little guys are the future of the hobby. They're the ones that are going to be buying your gold refractor for millions of dollars in the future. So you want them to win. For them to win is Luka and Trae in the finals. Yeah, chances are those smaller cards are going to just naturally go higher. Just in general, you know what I mean? It may not, but chances are it will, because that's a big surprise. They win. Let them have their moment, the little guys, the new people in the hobby in the last 2-3 years. Let them see their card prices start at a level, crash, and then go back up again. You know what I mean? So I want those guys to win. I think it would be amazing. It'd be Luka versus Trae in the finals. Like it'd be good for TV. Also, it'd be good for the hobby, period.
Yep. Great point. And I just want to say two things about Trae. I was talking with Lamim James today, and first thing is, I didn't know Trae's real name is Rayford.
Oh, wow.
You know
Rayford?
that?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah. Rayford Trae Young. I think that's what it is. Second thing is, I want to say that, in the Garden, they were saying Trae is balding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to say that Rayford is balding. What's so funny? Rayford is balding. I want to hear that in the Garden the next time those two teams play. Not Trae. Screw Trae. Give me Rayford.
You know what? I want to see that happen. Why? What Trae has been doing at the Garden, I need to take a pause at I thought your punchline was a little flat. I was like, but it was so flat.
You thought my punchline was flat?
A low key, yeah. But anyways, I think
that hurts. That's hurtful.
Oh God. If you guys are hearing on podcast now, you're forced to watch it on the YouTube. You got to watch it again because Max looks pretty sad. God damn it. Anyways, what Trae has been doing, oh God, he hates me right now. This is the last podcast. He's a legit villain. We need a villain in the Garden. Look at Reggie Miller. Do you remember the choke to Spike Lee? That is a famous thing. What did Trae Young did after I think shot a 3? He took a bow down at the Garden. I freaking love that. That is gonna help his card prices, believe it or not. More characteristics, more reposts. We need a guy that we love to hate, for example. You know what I mean?
I kind of wanted the Knicks to win that series just because I want to see the Garden just be nuts, which it was for the first couple of games. But like, I like Trae more now.
Oh yeah,
than I did before the series. That guy knows what he's up to. He knows what he's cooking up. I mean, this series is a big win for Trae.
Oh yeah. If Trae Young card collectors and Lamim, he's the most famous Trae Young collector, I think, and justifiably so. He got some pretty nice stuff of Trae. Pretty very nice stuff. But yeah, Trae with this, it makes him more lovable. Yes, he could be cocky, but we love that. We love personalities. You know what I mean? Like what he's doing is good for the hobby. Trae's saving his market. So I love that. Like him being like the guy that we love to hate, and he's playing that role perfectly. And the best part is why he's always felt like he has a chip on his shoulder. He's the smallest guy. He's a small dude, relatively to the NBA. He's way bigger than me, obviously. I'm a hobbit apparently, but he has a chip on his shoulder. He's skinny, he's small. So he always has that anger, and those type of people, you know what I mean? They play with a lot of fire and love and passion. And Trae, adding the bow down and all that, I think it's amazing. I really hope they go far, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch. For sure. Shout out of the day. I'll start here. I'm gonna give my shout out to @Gunther's Cards on Instagram. I saw a post I'm kind of friends with him, but I saw a post the other day. He posted a picture of the That's Jam Kobe insert next to a thing of Smuckers.
Yep.
A jar of Smuckers, and he had this like picnic blanket out. It was a beautiful photograph. And he's also posted some other photos of like the Dunkin' Go Nuts insert next to Dunkin' Donuts. It's just he has a lot of cool posts. So make sure to go follow him @Gunther's Cards on Instagram.
Great choice. I actually know him. We DM a lot. He picks my brain of the inserts, and he's picking up a lot of cards from the 90s. So yeah, great choice. My choice is also somebody that's like lower under the radar. His name is corner_taken_quickly_origi__. Oh God, but okay, he has that's his IG handle. I may tell him, maybe we're making something more simpler, so it's just easier to find you. He's trying to be so hidden. But anyways, he has like 403 followers. But this guy, little background on him, he was collecting for a while, long time ago. He came back into the hobby, I think maybe in the last year and a half. He started DMing me, asking questions, but he wasn't just like picky. He was asking me very like knowledgeable questions. Like I knew that's passion. Like you can tell a lot about someone just based on the question they ask. Like, oh wow, like I like that question. You know what? I want to answer it. I want to help you. When I said earlier, I love watching collectors grow. Watch his page. He's been picking up some nice stuff. Very, very smart. He's thinking. He's rational. I'm a fan of this kid. So check him out.
There you go. Make sure to go check him out. But yeah, that wraps up the podcast today. I do want to say one thing. We do appreciate all of the support, all the likes, comments, shares, subscribers, messages that we've been getting. The last episode we did, episode 6, was by far best episode to date. So we do appreciate that. Keep it coming, guys. We've got some momentum now. We're trying to build on that. But we really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, what Putnam said, bottom of our hearts, thank you for listening to us and making your car rides half the time and your flights shorter. That's our marketing thing. I don't know why I just keep saying that, but I don't know. It just sounds kind of cool. But yeah, big thank you to the hobby for listening to us. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, everyone. That's going to wrap up today's episode. Make sure to like, subscribe if you've not already. Shout out to the listeners on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave a rating if you want, and we'll see you next episode.
See you next week, guys.